LiberalViewer presents.
So I was very proud to be a member of the American Civil Liberties Union this week when I saw the ACLU helping hold the American government accountable for the excesses of the Bush administration by gaining the release of 4 Bush Justice Department legal memos that described and purported to legally justify various torture techniques. Beyond the well-known technique of waterboarding, I was also disturbed by the detailed description of a kind of phobia box reminiscent of the infamous Room 101 in the George Orwell novel 1984, in which someone's greatest fears were used to induce coercive mental suffering. The similarity to 1984 wasn't lost on MSNBC's Rachel Maddow, who you can see covering that aspect of the torture memos in a clip from her show last Friday here.
Consider this little thought experiment, sort of an ask and an answer. Here's the ask from the CIA. So we've got this guy in custody who's really afraid of rats. Really afraid of rats. We've seen the way that he reacts to rats, and it's pretty clear that it's a real problem for him. We're, of course, trying to get him to talk. We were wondering how much we can use this rats thing against him. How much we can use this rats thing that we figured out about him to try to make him talk. We're thinking maybe something like, well, have you seen that movie, 1984?
The thing that is in Room 101 is the worst thing in the world. In your case, it is rats.
Please, what do you want me to do?
You will do what is required of you.
What is it?
Now, that presentation may have been a little dramatic, but it did accurately convey the essence of a torture technique that uses a person's phobia against him, and Rachel Maddow backed up her dramatization by quoting from the actual torture memo, as you can see here.
You would like to place Zubaida in a cramped confinement box with an insect. You have informed us that he appears to have a fear of insects. In particular, you would like to tell Zubaida that you intend to place a stinging insect into the box with him.
So the torture memo did allow the U.S. government to use someone's phobia against him, just like the government did in that scene from the movie 1984, with the only material omission I can find in Rachel Maddow's report being leaving out the fact that while the interrogators told Zubaida they were using a stinging insect, they actually only put, quote, a harmless insect such as a caterpillar in the box with him, unquote. In contrast, on Fox News, the part about the harmless caterpillar was the only coverage the O'Reilly factor gave to the use of the phobia box torture technique, as you can see in this clip from the O'Reilly factor, also from last Friday here.
According to the memos themselves, waterboarding was used on just 3 people and produced good intel. A doctor was standing by during the process, which lasted less than 40 seconds. Sleep deprivation, cold rooms, and the threat of a caterpillar were also used on captured terrorists, about 30 of them, the CIA questioned.
Now, to me, that Fox News description was much less accurate, informative, and fair than the one from MSNBC, but I want to know what you think. Which description of the Bush administration's phobia box torture technique was more fair? The clips from the movie 1984 shown on MSNBC, or the caterpillar threat described on Fox News? And given that we can judge Fox News regardless of what's happening on the other networks, despite comments to the contrary I sometimes receive, regardless of what happened on MSNBC, was it fair of Fox News to describe the Bush administration's phobia box torture technique as, quote, the threat of a caterpillar, unquote?
YouTube, you decide.